The Miserable Mystery. Episode 1. The Whisper in the Dark. Lucas sat alone in his small Boston apartment, his laptop open, the screen bright but empty. He had tried to write all night, but something felt wrong, like the room itself was breathing with him. The clock ticked loudly. The air felt heavy. His thoughts were scattered, blurry, like pieces of a dream he couldn't fully remember. He rubbed his eyes and stood up to stretch, but the moment he turned toward the mirror on the wall, he froze. A faint white fog appeared on the glass, slowly forming into words as if someone invisible exhaled on it. "Do you remember?" Lucas blinked hard. "Remember what?" he whispered, voice shaking. No answer. The words faded slowly, like they had never been there, but his heart was already pounding. He sat back down, trying to convince himself it was just stress, but the room shifted again, lights flickering softly, almost like a warning. He reached for his pen, hoping writing something would calm him. The pen moved on its own, just a single word. Adele. Lucas dropped the pen immediately. No. "Who is Adele?" he whispered, but deep inside, a cold ache in his chest told him he knew that name. He just didn't want to remember. Suddenly, a soft sound echoed from the hallway outside his apartment. A light whisper, very gentle, very close. Lucas." He stood slowly, every muscle tense. "Who's there?" he called, stepping toward the door. As he reached for the knob, the lights flickered again, and the whisper came a second time, clearer. "Find me." The voice was female, soft, familiar. His hand shook as he pushed the door open. The hallway was dark, only lit by the weak emergency light at the end. But something was different, something he was sure wasn't there before. A paper lying on the floor, placed directly in front of his door. He picked it up. Room 9, and beneath it, in smaller letters, "Come." A shiver ran through him. He didn't know why, but the number 9 tightened his chest, squeezing it painfully. A memory flashed. A door, a scream, a cold floor, but it vanished too quickly. He took a step into the hallway. The air was colder here, almost freezing. As he walked, the hall seemed longer than usual, darker, quieter, like he had stepped into a different world. Finally, he reached door 9. His breath came out shaky. "Hello?" he whispered. The doorknob turned by itself. The door cracked open. Inside the room, the light was dim, like candlelight without a candle. Shadows moved gently across the walls. And standing near the window was a woman, pale, still, eyes sorrowful. Her voice was a whisper. "Lucas, you came." He stared, lips trembling. "Adele?" Her eyes filled with tears. "You forgot me," she said, voice cracking. "But I never left you." Lucas stepped back, panic rising in his chest. He didn't know her, yet every part of him felt like he did. The room pulsed with cold air. The lights dimmed further. Adele took one step forward. Adele's eyes locked on his, urgent yet sad. "It's time to remember, Lucas," she whispered. He swallowed hard, heart pounding as a cold breeze swept through the room, carrying the faint smell of rain and something metallic. His knees trembled, but he followed her toward the far corner where a narrow door led to a dark corridor he had never seen before. The walls were lined with peeling wallpaper, faint water stains forming shadows that flickered like faces. Each step forward made the floorboards groan beneath his weight, echoing through the silent, heavy air. Lucas clutched the pen in his hand like a lifeline, his only tether to sanity. "Why am I here?" he asked, voice barely audible. Adele didn't answer immediately. "You need to see it," she said finally, moving ahead with careful, deliberate steps. Shadows twisted around them, curling at the edges, whispering unintelligible sounds. Lucas's stomach churned as fragmented images flashed through his mind. Laughter, a sudden scream, rain-slick streets, a figure running away, a knife glinting in dim light. Marlowe, he muttered, the name slipping out without warning. Adele paused, her eyes wide. Yes, him, she said softly. He's part of this, part of your story, part of the night. Lucas's chest tightened. He had no memory of Marlowe, yet something deep inside his mind recognized the name, tugging at hidden threads. The corridor seemed to stretch endlessly, the shadows bending toward him, guiding him forward. Scratches on the walls formed shapes, numbers, symbols that almost made sense, then dissolved into nothingness. His reflection appeared faintly in a cracked glass panel. The pale, haunted Lucas, staring back, whispered fragments of words he couldn't yet understand. His hand shook as he pressed on. A flicker of movement ahead drew his gaze. A faint light spilled from a half-open door. The air smelled of iron, damp wood, and old fear. Adele paused at the threshold. Everything you've buried is here, she said. You have to face it to finish the story. Lucas took a deep breath, the cold pressing against his chest. He stepped inside. The room was dimly lit, shadows pulling in every corner. Broken furniture lay scattered, photographs strewn across the floor. He bent down and picked up one of the pictures. His younger self laughed in it, Marlowe standing nearby with a grin that twisted into malice. Adele in the background, smiling, unaware. Pain stabbed his chest as flashes of memory rushed back. Betrayal, screams, the rain, the knife. He dropped the photo, shivering. Adele's voice was soft but commanding. This is the night you need to remember. The night that began everything. Lucas felt his knees weaken. The pen moved in his hand on its own. Words forming across the page. Rain, blood, scream, betrayal, Marlowe, fear, cold, dark. Shadows swirled closer, whispering fragments of the past, urging him onward.